Joe Rogan didn't just talk last night, he detonated something. On live air, in front of millions, he dropped a bomb about Tyler Robinson, the man everyone thought acted alone in the shocking death of Charlie Kirk. But here's the twist: Rogan hinted that Tyler wasn't the killer, he was the cover. And within hours, that one statement sent the internet spiraling into chaos. Clips of Rogan's show started going viral, each one dissected frame by frame. He said, and I quote, "There's a reason they've kept those tapes sealed. If you saw what I saw, you'd understand why." That single line changed everything. Because for months, people believed this was just another tragic, one-man meltdown, a senseless crime by a young man who snapped. But now questions are erupting. Who is they? What tapes is Rogan talking about? And what was so terrifying that even federal investigators refused to release it? Then Candace Owens stepped in. She reposted Rogan's clip with a single caption: "He's finally saying what we couldn't." Within minutes, her post exploded. Hundreds of thousands of shares, thousands of comments, and one question repeated over and over again. What are they hiding about Charlie Kirk's death? The momentum was unstoppable. Newsrooms scrambled, Reddit threads caught fire, and every influencer with a mic was suddenly a detective. But behind all the noise, one thing became painfully clear: something bigger is being buried. What started as an interview became a full-blown digital manhunt for truth. People began connecting dots: missing footage, delayed autopsy results, sealed warrants, and that mysterious text Charlie sent the night before his death. If anything happens, you know who to ask. For months, it sounded like paranoia. But after Rogan's words, it feels like prophecy. And that's where the real story begins. Because what came next wasn't just media noise, it was an avalanche. The kind that doesn't just bury secrets, it buries people. When Candace Owens spoke up, everything changed. She didn't just repost Rogan's clip. She reignited the fire that everyone thought had burned out months ago. Her words were simple but loaded. They silenced the wrong man. Within an hour, hashtags like Justice for Charlie and #Tyler was framed were trending across Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. And by morning, mainstream outlets could no longer ignore it. Candace claimed she had been warned not to dig too deep into Charlie Kirk's death. She mentioned missing files, redacted witness statements, and a private donor funding the initial investigation, a donor whose name has never been made public. People began asking, why would anyone silence someone digging for truth? And why was Tyler Robinson, a college kid with no criminal record, suddenly painted as a cold-blooded assassin? Then it got darker. Candace said on her show that a source inside the Department of Justice told her, quote, "The case wasn't closed, it was contained." Contained, a word that doesn't belong in justice, but fits perfectly in a cover-up. Overnight, more details leaked. Anonymous insiders started dropping screenshots, supposed email exchanges, and even snippets from what appeared to be sealed forensic reports. The public noticed something chilling. In every version of the report, one name kept getting blurred out. One witness, allegedly seen talking to Charlie the day before he died, had been completely erased from official records. The online sleuths called her the ghost witness, a woman whose face appeared for just 3 seconds on a nearby gas station camera, and then vanished. As this mystery woman's name trended, Candace went live again, and this time she didn't hold back. She said, "If you think Tyler Robinson pulled this off alone, you haven't seen the real story. You've only seen the version they allowed." That line became the quote of the week. People clipped it, remixed it, and turned it into a rallying cry. Suddenly, what was once seen as a tragic crime looked more like a political chess game, one where pawns were being sacrificed to protect kings. And right at the center of that board was Tyler Robinson, the kid no one truly knew, but everyone was now obsessed with. Because if Candace was right, then Tyler wasn't a monster. He was a message. But whose message? And why Charlie Kirk? The answer may lie in the one file everyone keeps pretending doesn't exist. For weeks, everyone was talking about the ghost witness. But what most people didn't know was that her name wasn't the only thing missing. Behind closed doors, investigators had something else, a sealed document labeled Case Supplement B24. It was mentioned once in a court transcript, and then never again. But when a whistleblower leaked fragments of it online, everything started to make sense. According to those leaked pages, Supplement B24 contained text messages between Charlie Kirk and an unknown number, messages dated just hours before his death. One of them read, "If this goes public, they'll destroy both of us." Another said, "Tyler's not ready. He doesn't even know what he's part of." Those messages alone shattered everything the prosecution had built. Because if Charlie was warning someone about being destroyed, then who was threatening him? And more importantly, how was Tyler involved before the crime even happened? That's when online investigators dug deeper. Using metadata from the leaked texts, they traced the sender's number to a disposable phone registered in Maryland, not the state where the crime occurred. And guess who had flown to Maryland that same week? A high-profile political strategist, the same one who funded Charlie's last campaign rally. Coincidence? Maybe. But here, where things turn from suspicious to chilling. The leaked file also listed 2 digital transfers from a consulting firm tied to that strategist, both made to a private account under Tyler Robinson's name. The amounts, $5,000 each, labeled only as media assistance. Media assistance for what? When this surfaced online, people didn't just see a crime anymore, they saw a system. A web of money, influence, and fear that stretched way beyond a college student and a political commentator. Even Joe Rogan reacted again on his podcast. You don't pay someone $5,000 to commit murder. You pay them to take the blame for it. That single quote reignited the storm. If Tyler didn't act alone, then who was the puppet master? And why was every record of this consulting firm suddenly wiped from public databases right after the story broke? The deeper people searched, the faster the evidence vanished. Twitter posts were deleted, Reddit threads locked, even YouTube videos mysteriously flagged for policy violations. Someone somewhere wanted the silence to last forever. For months, officials denied the existence of any secondary autopsy. But then one night it leaked. An anonymous email sent to 3 journalists and a small independent podcast. Attached was a single PDF titled, Kirk Post-Examination Unedited. And what it revealed changed everything we thought we knew about Charlie's death. According to that report, Charlie Kirk didn't die instantly. He'd been alive for nearly 7 minutes after the gunshot. 7 minutes, long enough to speak. Long enough to name who pulled the trigger. But that section was redacted, completely blacked out. Then came the shocking detail. Traces of chloroform were found in Charlie's bloodstream, something the original autopsy never mentioned. Why? Because chloroform isn't something you find in an impulsive attack. It's used for one reason: control. Meaning Charlie might have been subdued before the shot was ever fired. If that's true, then the official story, Tyler walking in and pulling the trigger, doesn't just fall apart. It becomes impossible. And guess what else the report mentioned? An unidentified second DNA sample on the weapon. Not Tyler's, not Charlie's, someone else entirely. A profile labeled Sample X. Once the report hit the web, Chaos erupted again. Candace went live saying, "This wasn't rage, it was ritual." Her words set the tone, and every outlet from independent podcasts to mainstream news started chasing Sample X. Online investigators claimed the DNA partially matched a known security consultant, someone tied to private political contracts. But within hours, the database showing that record went offline. Down, gone, erased. And for a moment, it felt like the truth had been buried all over again. But it didn't stop there. Because that same night, Joe Rogan posted a single message on X. "They're scrubbing more than data. Watch who disappears next." That post hit 3 million views in 10 hours. And by morning, a key witness, the one who first mentioned seeing Tyler that night, was nowhere to be found. Phone off, home emptied, socials wiped clean. Almost like she never existed. So now, people are asking the question that no one in power wants to answer. If Tyler wasn't the killer, then who silenced Charlie Kirk, and why are they still walking free? And that's where we're leaving it tonight, with more questions than answers. But this story isn't done. Because someone out there knows what's in the unredacted version of that autopsy. And when it surfaces, it's going to blow everything wide open. What do you think really happened that night? Was Tyler a pawn, or the final player in a game we still don't understand? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm reading every one of them. If you made it this far, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell, because the next video will dig into the mysterious disappearance of that witness. And trust me, you don't want to miss what we found. Stay curious, stay alert, and as always, keep questioning the story.